is God real in the world of One Piece? The answer to that question is pretty clearly no, but that's only in the singular sense. The question of whether gods exist in One Piece is a completely different thing. Recently, we have gotten a massive lore drop in One Piece in the form of the Harley text, as well as a mural that Franky stumbled upon, drawn seemingly by children during the Void Century. The Harley text itself mentions several gods, being the Sun God, the Earth God, the Sea God, and the Forest God. And in the past, in Skypiea specifically, the people there worshipped the Sun God, the Rain God, the Earth God, and the Forest God. It's pretty clear that if gods do exist in One Piece, in some way or another, it is kind of a polytheistic kind of thing going on, and it's pretty clear that there are 4 of them, at least. The discrepancy between the two, from the Harley text and the Skypieans, is the Rain God and the Sea God, though, with them both having water as their central theming or naming, I think it's pretty safe to equate them to one another. The big question here that I have, though, is not whether these gods are being worshipped or are real to some degree in that way, but whether they are actual gods, in the sense of the word that we would understand it. You know, beings of massive power over their particular domains, beings that are worshipped because of their power over the natural forces of the earth, or, you know, the earth or whatever they're able to control. According to the Harley, as well as the mural, these gods are responsible for a lot of death and destruction, and seem to be responsible for the creation of the Red Line, which was the Earth God when they were enraged at the end of the First World, and the creation of the Grand Line, which seemed to be happening as a result of the Sea God raging at the end of the Second World. This split the entire world into quarters, and it's clear that only beings of immense power would really be capable of changing the Earth like that. The Sun God is also present, as well as the Forest God, though it's not entirely certain what exactly they're doing during this whole thing. The Forest God may have been involved in creating devil fruits, obviously from these texts in the mural and from tradition passed down through the Skypieans as well as the giants in Elbaf. In the past, there was obviously at least 4 beings of immense power that were worshipped as gods. My question is not whether they existed or not, but whether they are actually gods. Every other god that we have seen in the series is self-proclaimed. Enel, if he had played his cards right, could truly have been worshipped as a god. He had immense power, and the only reason he was defeated was because a strange kid made of rubber showed up. His perfect counter. A child with no brain and a perfect power to counter every ability he had. The celestial dragons also position themselves as gods. According to the Harley, we can see that they were able to do so because they defeated the sun god. Luffy, who has eaten the Nika Nika no Mi, the fruit that gives him the powers of the sun god, at least to some degree. We don't know if that was even more in the past. Luffy has never postured as if he were a god. Of course, that's Luffy. It's Luffy. He would never do that even if he was one. So I suppose that's not exactly incredible evidence to the contrary. My only thought, really, here, is that the story that Oda has been telling up to this point is about people who are placing themselves in positions of almost divine importance in order to exploit others. There's clearly more that we are going to be learning about these gods going forwards, and the mural that the children have drawn that Franky stumbled across seems to depict them as massive beasts, almost monsters, except for the sun god, of course, who is depicted as we have seen in the past, consistent with Joy Boy and Nika's appearance that we've seen so far. These kind of almost unknowable forces of nature. So it's certainly possible that that is what they are, but it's also possible that that could be them seen from a child's perspective. There's a lot more that we're going to learn about them, I am sure, and I don't know if we're going to find out that they are true gods, or if we're going to find out that these are more people with immense power who have exploited it for their own good or for, the goods of others. These could be people who attempted to use their powers for good, and due to some sort of divine comedy, their hubris led them down a path of destruction instead. Some have suggested that the Earth God, when they created the Red Line, that the Earth was also shrouded in flames, as seems to be suggested in the First World text, and that the destruction that the Sea God performed while creating the Grand Line was actually an attempt to put out those eternally burning fires. Could it be that they created the Grand Line as a side effect of just trying to save people from those fires? It's certainly possible. I just don't know if we're going to see true gods show up. There's going to be wacky powers all the way. But whatever these people had before Devil Fruits, or if there was a before Devil Fruits, that could certainly be part of what's going on here. Whatever does happen, though, I'm very interested to find out. So, I suppose for now, the answer to the question of whether gods exist in One Piece is a simple I don't know. It seems likely, given what we've been told so far, but I simply don't know if that's consistent with the story that Oda has been telling so far. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below if there's any thoughts that you have about this whole thing, and I'm excited to see what comes of this story moving forwards with you all. Honestly, I took a long time to be convinced to read One Piece, just because of how massive it is and how much of a time commitment it was. But I am very, very grateful that I did so when I did, so that I am able to be reading this finale in real time with the rest of the fandom. It's really a special time to be a fan of One Piece right now. With that said, I will see you guys all in 2 weeks with my next video. So tune in next time for that one by hitting the subscribe button, notification bell, if you want to get notifications about when it appears, I'm reminded. But I'll see you then. So, bye!